We like to use a local to us company that I can get at my feed store, Humble Acres, to supplement what we need around for all of the plants. And yeah, we use Humble Acres. That's potting soil, and then we also use the chicken compost. Works wonders to help supplement what we need. Humble Acres chicken compost. It's great to supplement our own chicken compost that's over there breaking down. All right, so I've shown you how I do my seeds. I start them in a bag in the moisture. So these are sprouted. So are my Texas Star. But what we're going to do here, since they're both indeterminate, is we're going to start with the sprouts in half bags of dirt. We're going to put some plant food around the edge. We're going to put some copper sulfate around the edge that wards off fungal diseases. And then we're going to put calcium, bone meal around there, and some Epsom salt for the plants. All right, so I've got powdered copper sulfate all throughout the dirt, and that helps against powdery mildew, blight, downy mildew. Like I said, any of the fungal infections, copper sulfate, and then the roots will uptake it and help the plant fight off any of that may get to it. All right, the copper sulfate is worked into the soil, and I've got the Epsom salts, I've got the plant food, and the bone meal all to the outside edges, so that once I put my little sprouts in, those little roots are going to grow and reach out to the food instead of being concentrated right in the middle on the food. Because of course, you know, with the more roots with indeterminate tomatoes, the more roots equals more fruits. We're going to go into some of that here in another second. I have another thing that I'm going to show you that will help with your tomatoes. Okay, got the food worked in around the edges. We got our little sprout in the center. Same here for the Texas Star and the other Texas Star. So now we can make sure they stay moist and go put them in the sun for now. And then as the plant grows, I'll come back and I'll update you. But then I will fill the rest of the bag with the dirt as it gets bigger. So because they're indeterminate, and as it grows up and that dirt goes around there, it will shoot out more roots for our tomato plants. So I'll keep you updated. And here are some of my crazy tomatoes that I wanted to grow. There's Mrs. Benson, there's Black Beauty, there's White Queen, there's monkey ass tomatoes. I believe there's another Texas Star in here somewhere, and that's the trellis. So what we're going to do is just simple string running up. We'll keep them trimmed, and as they grow up, then we will wrap them around the string, and then we will lay them over this, and it'll eventually become a tunnel of tomatoes, and I can't wait to see that. So I think that one's Mrs. Benson. I'm excited to try all these. I've not had them. And as you can see, let me see if I can get that. There it is. We've got little tomato clips to hold them next into the string. We got a whole box of them. They're super cheap. So that will help hold them up. And then of course there's some that are little and just starting. That one's empty. But that's okay that they're just starting and they're not as big as, say, that monkey ass tomato or that tomato plant, right? Because then that means different tomatoes at different times, and I'm all about that. Not a problem. And when I can tomatoes, what I do is if I don't have enough to do a bunch at a time, I freeze them all first, and it just makes them so easy to peel, and then none of them get wasted and I don't get overwhelmed. Okay, so this is a Golden Jubilee, and I got to get in here and maintain this bed a little bit. I got to pull some weeds and get some more straw and stuff down. Anyway, if we can see, he's kind of droopy, right? which is not a problem. I am going to get them staked up. But first, I'm going to do something else. Because if you look, let me see if I can get that in. So they're indeterminate tomatoes. What that means is that the more I bury this stem that's been pruned, the more roots it will grow straight into the ground. All right, so we got them ready here, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them into the hole right in there, and I'm going to bury that stem. All right, so he's in the ground there. I took those bottom branches off, so now it can concentrate on all that growth. And then as he grows up, we will get him on the trellis. But now all that stem is in the ground, and all those roots will go straight down. And remember, with your indeterminate tomatoes, the more roots, the more fruits. So keep them pruned up. Now, like, once these have bloomed and produced tomatoes, these will not produce any more tomatoes for the summer. So go ahead once they've done that and prune them off. Then the more growth it has, because an indeterminate tomato will just continue to grow. So once they've produced the fruit, go ahead and remove them. It will push all of that growth into the new and concentrating on newer and more tomatoes. And if you're in a sunny spot, if it doesn't get any frost, just keep the frost off that, and that baby will grow indefinitely. Just keep the frost off them. That's the beautiful thing about indeterminate tomatoes. They just keep growing. And there he is. He's got his mulch all around him. He's just ready to grow up to the trellis. Thanks for joining, and if you need any more tips, don't forget to hit the subscribe, like, share, fave, all the good things for more tips and tricks in your garden and your homestead. Thanks, y'all. Bye. Those are dried beans from the store. I can't remember all I got. I got kidney beans, lentils, black beans, northern beans, navy beans. I think that's what I got. Great nitrogen fixators for your soil. You can plant them now, or you can plant them in the fall. I think I'm going to do both, actually, and what they do produce, you can eat or feed to your critters. All right, so we're in another garden bed already again. Just wanted to touch on this. I'm not sure, some are not aware, but if you are not, this is great tidbit. If you are, then I guess it just helps reinforce it, right? So the garden bed here, I've got the straw all around the tomatoes until they're big enough to trellis up. Those are all pink tie-dye tomatoes. I think we have close to 70 plants planted. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. There's a lot. Anyway, so your brown cardboard boxes, save them all. Make sure there's no glossy print, whatever, right? So I just took them all apart and broke them down. But what I'm going to do is put them in the middle, probably between this corn there, so that A, it will stop the weeds from popping up, and B, and most importantly, it will feed the worms. And if you feed the worms and keep your worm population healthy and happy, they feed your plants, because worm castings do amazing things for your food. So yeah, don't throw out your plain, it can have print as far as like color, like the one box, let me show you, like that, or I have a white box in here, but it's not a glossy box. Where is it? Right there. As long as it isn't a glossy cardboard box, go ahead and get it in your garden. Lay it between rows, lay it on the edges, cover it with straw if you want, whatever. It will break down, and I don't know why, but the worms love it. I'm even going to take that shredded brown paper and put that in. And then that stuff from one of the food boxes I ordered. It's all brown paper, and like I said, the worms love it. Feed the worms, keep your garden happy. There, I put it between the corn rows for now. I had enough to go all down there. Just put some dirt onto it for now until I can go get my goat straw together, but at least it won't blow away like that. And it will start the process, and the worms will start eating it and feeding the plant. Ooh, look at this. Oh, I don't know if I should take those off or not. That's exciting already. Holy smokes. It's only just going to be Mother's Day tomorrow, and I already have, look at that, the blossoms on the pink tie-dyes. Ooh, exciting. Another blossom. Holy smokes. I guess I did okay with these plants, huh? All right, I'm still in that same garden bed. I'm letting those oats grow that are in between. There's oats and some wheat growing in between that corn. I'll just let that grow. And when it gets dry enough, I'll just feed it to the chickens or spread it all over this for the winter. But I don't do the Three Sisters. I've not found that work for me. But what I do is plant some squash, and look at right there. Let me see. Is he coming in? It's hard to tell, it's so sunny. Yep, there he is. So I do plant squash in between the corn, and there's a watermelon. And then I've got some more squash planted. I don't know if it's come up yet, and I have some cucumbers. So I do kind of companion plants for the corn and let it grow there. Now, on to our dry beans that I was talking about. Here we go. I'm just gonna rake it. I have a little, the mini garden rake thing. There's my bucket of reconstituted beans that I got in the dry bean section from the grocery store. I'm gonna scratch this all up and get them planted. All right, I scratched up where I've already tilled, and I've put a few handfuls from our bucket in there, and I'm gonna cover them all up. I'm not gonna worry about spacing for these. What grows is what grows. It's mostly for the ground cover and for nitrogen fixation in here. And then of course I'll update you once these are ready to harvest and show you what we do with that then, and make sure that the ground has all it needs from these particular beans. All right, so like I said, I'm not worried about spacing or anything. I'm using them as nitrogen fixators, but you can see when I scratch it back into the soil, it doesn't quite cover it. So I'm just taking a little bit of the goat straw and putting a really thin layer all over the top, and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, that's it. 5 bags did that much space. It's going to be thick, and they're going to grow up. And of course, like I said, I'll have to give you an update when they're done and show you exactly how they're nitrogen fixators. But I did northern beans, lentils, kidney beans, black beans, and navy beans. So let's see what grows.